Welcome to the G Spot Experience with your girl Germaine. All right, so here we are. And just to let you know, today will be the last day that we will be using the G Spot Experience. Good morning, Leslie. So, me and my team, after really thinking and considering long and hard, we decided that we're going to make a name change. We are going to change the G Spot experience. And I'll tell you why. We're going to call it, it's still going to be all centered around our coffee breaks. Yes. So make sure you take your break with us. But before I get in the message, I just want to let you know that we will be doing a branding change, a name change. And I'll tell you why. Because I'll tell you why. Because I find that I'm explaining myself, the title, G Spot Experience. Now, as you know, my name starts with the G, but the inspiration behind the G Spot Experience is really God's experience. This is a God spot having these moments. Welcome, Jesse Moss 92775. Good morning. And so, first and foremost, everybody got their drinks. I'm drinking my coffee today, as I always do. I need to switch it up some. So, hopefully, whatever you have is refreshing while we're in this coffee break. But as I was saying, tomorrow we will be rolling out the new name for the coffee breaks. And the G Spot experience will probably just sponsor some of the segments, okay? But I find that, that's a name, G Spot. Everybody knows, and everybody always equates it with the sexual, G Spot moments or whatever. But for this show, it's about a God experience through our everyday living. And so, what I decided with my team is that yes, we will rename it. So it won't limit us from building our community. Okay. And then we won't have to figure out why to explain it, because you know what? The essence and presence of God will always show up because I bring him everywhere I go. So, with that being said, stay tuned tomorrow for the new name and everything. I'm excited. But let's get into this brew today. So, today's brew is about grace over grind. Grace over grind. So, you know how we do. We take a pause and we pour into purpose. So if you are chiming in, make sure you let me know that you are in the community by just hit me up in the chat. I would love to hear from you. And also give me your thoughts. Give me your thoughts about us doing a branding name change and everything. It's okay. This is family. This is family. This is community. And I'm always open. So with that being said, let's get into grace over grind. I just want to say, let this be your reminder. You weren't created to live on fumes. So, my question is, how many of you out there are just tired, exhausted, need to get some rest? Okay, Facebook is lagging. Thanks, Leslie, for that update. So, you popped over to YouTube. Let me know. For some reason, I don't know. Every time I get, my dog is having a field day. But every time I get on my studio, my internet is almost like it want to give me issues, but it's fine all throughout the day. But you know what? We bind that up. And so, but let me know how YouTube is also coming across, and I appreciate that. So let's get into grace over grind. In a world that glorifies hustle, it's easy to mistake busyness for purpose. Yep, it is. Just because I'm busy doesn't mean I'm purposeful. Doesn't mean it's leading me to where I need to go. Think about it. Think about your own situation, because I could think about mine and be like, sometimes I can, allow myself to be exhausted. And the thing is, that's not always being in purpose. So, uh, grace over grind. We coined the phrase grinding, gotta go out, gotta grind, gotta get it. We hustling and stuff. And boy, what are we really putting on ourselves? What levels of stress are we really putting on ourselves? Okay, great. YouTube is better. I believe it's the Facebook platform. Could be. Could be. Thank you so much for that. And so, with that, really, let's look at this. Grace over grind. So, all right. So when we wake up normally, our mindset is probably already focused on grinding for the day, rushing, proving, producing. We wake up probably already thinking like this. And so, with that, we're already programming ourselves. So, we ain't thinking about grace nowhere in the equation, are we? Nope. We just thinking about how we gonna get it, grind, got to get through this stuff, So, what are we chasing, right? And so, we forget that real power often looks like peace. Ooh, let me say that again. Real power often looks like peace. So, in today's brew, I'm going to invite you to lay down the weight of performance and pick up pick up the grace of alignment. That might be a little heavy for some people to do. Lay down the weight of performance and pick up the grace of alignment. So let me tell you what grace says sometimes. So grace says you are enough while becoming. Grace also says rest is productivity. Ooh, okay. We're going to talk about that one for a second. So people laugh at me when I tell them, listen, I'm in the bed by 8:30 sometimes because when I'm tired, I listen to my body. I get my 8 hours of sleep. And then my body gets up automatically on its own. So I may rise early, like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm already, going through my meditation at my desk, already working and producing in purpose. But I make sure I get my rest because you feel so refreshed. Your body and our body, we need it, especially as we're getting older. We need the proper rest. And you find that, you have clear thinking, you're able to be more productive. But that's me. I know it works. So for all those that be like, why y'all go to bed so early? Because I'm learning the key to it is getting the proper rest. Okay. And so let's also see what Grace says. Grace says you don't have to force what flows when you're in step with God's timing. Mm. So I'm going to ask the question again. Are you tired? Do you need to get some rest? I'm just going to leave that out there for you to think about. And so Leslie says, I love me a nap, especially on Sundays. I don't do any work on Sundays except church. Amen. Now, I'm going to say amen to that, Leslie, but sometimes I'm guilty. Sometimes I may find myself sitting behind my desk, getting something done, trying to get some things off my plate. Okay. But then you know what? Balance is really good. And but some people have said, you know what? You should think about trying to get a power nap throughout the day. And don't feel guilty about that. Sometimes people may take, instead of joining a coffee break, they may say, you know what? Let me go sit in my car and get a 15-minute power nap. Whatever works for you. But just, you know what? Make sure you're seeing about yourself. What is your body starved for? And rest is probably one of those things in a world of grinding and always hustling, always rushing, always working. So I'm quite sure your body is starving for rest. So, all right, let me get back into this. Okay. So you can be excellent without exhaustion. I believe that. You'll enjoy it also, right? So you don't have to exhaust yourself to the point, and I am so guilty. I have been there. Like, can't even lift your head up, you so tired, or you sitting behind the computer and you know what? You sit behind the computer dozing off, right? But so Leslie said some people do. They feel guilty about taking naps. Yes. So I'm one of them. But you know what I realized? I realized that it's hard for me to take a nap during the day. And not because I don't want to. Maybe it is. I've tried it sometimes. You know, you just can't go any further. I mean, you are literally on fumes, and it's like if I don't lay down for at least 15 minutes, that 15 minutes done turned into an hour, you know. But I'm gonna tell you, it's necessary sometimes. Sometimes to take a quick power nap just to get refreshed. That's also like you resetting. So, but it's necessary sometimes. All right. So, you can lead without losing yourself. Y'all, excuse me because it's a little warm and I just need a little air. You know, having one of those moments. All right. So you can lead without losing yourself. You can build without breaking. So let today be the day you choose presence over pressure, stillness over striving, and sacred rhythm over restless grind. Yeah, let today be that day you start. So, just so I can say, this isn't permission to be passive. Mm-mm. It's permission to be purposeful. Grace isn't lazy, it's strategic. And it reminds you that you are a vessel, not a machine. Oh my gosh, y'all know how we be working these bodies of ours like we are machines. We're not a machine. No, we're not a machine. So stop working your body like that. It's a vessel, not a machine. Okay. Oh my goodness. Think about it. Yeah, I know. It's like, man, yeah, you're right. My body is breaking down because I'm treating it like it's a machine versus the vessel that God has given us to actually hold things, to release things, you know, where his spirit resides. So stop stressing your body, stop stressing yourself. So, exactly. Look, let's do this together. Let's exhale. Breathe out. Let's rest. Get some rest. And let's reframe your pace. Okay? Because sometimes the most radical thing you can do in a grinding world is what? Rest. Huh. Yes. So that's what I leave with you all, to make sure you're getting some rest. It doesn't matter if they laugh at you because you go to bed early. They'll be laughing. Look, they'll be crying later. So, but if your body is tired, lay it down and get some rest. So, you know how we do. We sip slow. Your soul will thank you. Mhm. Ah, guys, thank you so much. Make sure you are getting the proper rest. Grace over grind. Choose grace all the time. All right. And I promise you, you'll find that you're more productive. Hey, so with that being said, make sure you check in tomorrow to see as we unveil the new name for the coffee break. All right. And if you have not already, make sure I listed in the description all of our platforms. So make sure you go subscribe to them, especially YouTube. I just saw we hit 11,000 in the community. So make sure you go and subscribe. We're shooting for 20,000. That's our next milestone. And it takes all of you to make that possible. So make sure you like, subscribe, and also comment. I really love to get the feedback. You know, it helps to push me And like I said in the beginning of all of this, and I think we're over like 70 episodes now, but in the beginning of all of this, my whole goal was to me to work on being consistent and showing up. I have made this a priority. And guess what? I know you know this. I also started locking in that 10:30 time frame so people can really schedule out their coffee breaks to join us. So thank you so much. I love you guys. And I'll see you tomorrow as we unveil the new name for our coffee breaks. Have a wonderful day. Please be safe and please make sure you are getting some rest. Okay. All right. Choose grace over grind all the time. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.